Everybody, Jason Sherman here. In today's episode of Sir to CEO, I have with me a multi-award winner, Michael Theodor. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, Jason. Nice to be here.
Awesome. And we're going to talk about how to massively grow your product's brand, which is a very cool topic because a lot of people out there probably have a brand or products and they want to know how to get it out there. In your case, you have you've been doing organic and natural products, which a lot of people, I'd say in the past decade or two especially, have really looked at how GMOs are bad, like genetically modified food. And then of course, like all the foods with like insecticides and pesticides and like chemicals, and everyone's trying to avoid that because of all the things we've noticed in society has affected people because of using all of those things. So tell me from your standpoint, how organics are better than regular and what you've seen happen in terms of the bad things because people were not using organic products.
Well, for the record, I started in organics in 1975. I had a company called Organic Connection. I was one of the first people in British Columbia, Canada, on the West Coast to engage with organic growers.
Wow.
and bring down organic soft fruits like peaches, apricots, apples, pears, and those types of fruits from the Okanagan Valley in BC. I started really small with a little station wagon and built up to a big diesel truck with refrigeration and all the rest of that in a very short period of time, and had a real success doing that. And then I was taking so much organic fruit that they couldn't supply. So I transitioned.
Oh, wow.
I transitioned into brokering, and I was the first organic broker in Canada, and that was in 1980. So
you're really the organic OG, as we would say here in the States. You're the OG, and instead of doing it from your garage like a lot of startups, you started it from your station wagon. But technically, that goes in the garage. So hey,
I had a garage too, and by the time I had the big diesel truck, I had a 220 cord that would plug into the plug in the house to keep the things cool.
Wow.
And I would drive about 1,600 kilometers a week up there to get fruit, come back. And then my wife and a friend drove around Vancouver and sold it to the different stores, and we shipped it to Alberta and everything. So, I was like the first guy.
This was 50 years ago. I mean, a lot has changed in those 50 years. What have you seen? Because I could imagine, I was born in 76. So
first of all, what hasn't changed is my commitment to organics for all the right reasons.
Great.
So I stuck with that for my entire career, through good times and bad times, through different recessions, and there was other recessions that were besides what we're going through.
Of course,
now.
in the 70s we had the oil crisis. 80s was the regular recession.
82, we had a bad recession, and I just stuck with it. Stayed with my commitment to sell clean products to the Canadian public, and ended up getting results because of that. And and a lot of that was based on very basic, but yet important things that in today's business climate, not so much.
What kind of basic stuff?
Like following up, like picking
with a customer,
picking up the phone and having a phone conversation.
In the age of texting, I can see what you mean.
And like just basic things to keep that conversation and that connection going.
A relationship.
One of the things that I'm really known for with my clients is like immediate follow-up. Like just before this session, I had probably 6 big projects, 2 of them Costco, and immediate follow-up. Question, answer,
right.
Question, answer, right away. I don't keep anybody waiting. I respect that they have,
other things to do.
To get things, and I try to serve my clients in that regard. And I think it's appreciated, and it's you call it old school,
but
but it still works.
It's not old school. I use it too. I'm a very responsive person, just like you. I'm an organic consumer. Everything, when I go to the store, the supermarket, the grocery store, I look at the labels. I make sure it's organic. Produce, I buy organic. Everything fresh, I buy organic. But I didn't really know much about organic until maybe I got older, of course, and I wanted to be healthier. Before that, I wasn't too sure. So in the 70s and 80s, when you were pushing organic, what was your feedback from the community and the public in terms of, well, why should I buy organic?
I was living in Laguna Beach, California in the 60s.
Ooh.
And that's where I got into all this stuff. And that was an intersection with lifestyle and
counterculture, right?
A lot of counterculture. And so part of that, I started doing things like fasting and making juice and making fresh things. I had avocado trees growing in my yard, all that.
Oh, wow.
So that started to, I started getting benefits. That's the thing. I was
Health
getting
benefits.
And I cut out everything, bad oil, really bad for the North American consumers. You really have to be careful about the quality of oil that you consume, because there's a lot of really low quality oil that harms your liver and does all kinds of bad things.
Avocado oil is okay though, right? Like organic olive oil, organic avocado oil, those are okay because I use. Okay.
Yeah, of course.
All right,
and
checking.
Those right now I sell those things in commodities like container loads. That's what I do.
So you mentioned a couple things that I do. I drank a smoothie today for lunch, just FYI, and I do a 16-hour fast every day. So
what's your cutoff time?
It's 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. are my eating hours, and then 5 p.m. to 9 a.m. the next day I don't eat anything. I just drink water and tea.
It's really good because you're not digesting it in the night.
Exactly.
When you're not digesting in the night, your system rests, and
Correct.
You get a
repair mode.
You get repair, and it also there's a calming effect.
Correct.
Good for you. That's really good. Very, very healthy. Very good.
So a lot of people don't really think that organic food is worthwhile. They just buy whatever is available. They say organic food is too expensive or eating healthy is expensive. What's your take on that?
Well, to be honest, organic is more expensive than conventional, but if you really are determined to sort of clean up your lifestyle, when you get with organic is you're not getting any pesticides, no chemical fertilizers, no there's so many things to mention that it would take half the podcast if I went through the whole list. So I don't want to do that, but it's for me as with my experience at the farm gate, one of the things that I learned back in the day when I was in the fruit business in the 70s, I met a fruit grower in British Columbia named Otto Rote. Otto Rote was a German immigrant, and he was trained by Rudolf Steiner, a famous...
I've heard of that name.
Yeah, this guy, if you Google Rudolf Steiner, all these things will come up. And Rudolf Steiner invented so many things to deal with the soil, like so much. And so I had a chance to learn from Otto Rote and his family, who were amazing growers, to show you how amazing they were they had a block of organic peaches. Honestly, some of those peaches were as big as cantaloupes.
Whoa.
And the state of Georgia Agriculture Department heard about his peach block and came to Canada and stayed on his property for 3 or 4 days, taking pictures, taking soil samples to see what this guy is doing with peaches.
Interesting.
Because his peaches were better.
So good. That's amazing. And, speaking about, the topic here, massively growing your products brand. So let's say I'm an entrepreneur and I want to get into the organic market by pushing some sort of new product? Or is there an underserved product in the organic market or space that could be better suited for people, that could be more pushed out there? I mean, what's your recommendation for people trying to get into it?
That's a really good question. But right now, because, and I'm speaking mostly for Canada, but this happens in the US too. Right now, there's different agencies, federal, state, provincial, regional agencies, and there's money available. Okay.
Okay.
There's also investors that have a lot of money because they think that organic is on trend, which it is.
Okay.
And they're investing from an investment point of view. And so as a result of that, right now there's a tremendous amount of offerings in the organic space that were never there 10 years ago.
Right.
So many things. So I can't really, with any authority, say anything that is new and different because it's all coming so quickly. The problem is the stores only have so much retail space, and there's a lot of good things coming, and they hit a cap, maybe $2 or $3 million, and then they can't really get to the next level because there's the categories are so crowded,
right,
that even though they might have the best organic product going, they get put in a holding pattern, and they don't always meet the goals of the investors or themselves because there's just so many products.
So there's a lot. So there's a huge supply of organic products. Maybe the space or demand is not really there yet.
As a point of comparison, when I first started into this in Laguna Beach in the mid to late 60s, there was like a little tiny health food store, and all they had was the basics: brown rice, yogurt, a few little snacks. Dr. Bronner was around. Dr. Bronner had all this labeling and One World and all this philosophy that everybody loved, and really some juices, and maybe somebody was adventuresome and was making fresh juice like carrot juice or carrot beet apple or something like that, right? And so the selection was so few and far between that you really had to do things creatively on your own. If you wanted to do something nutritionally, you sort of have to research things. And don't forget, no internet, no texting, no email, no faxes, nothing.
Maybe a recipe book.
Just your own wherewithal to figure it all out.
And so someone like me who does fasting, who eats organic, who is super careful what I eat and what I put on and in my body, what if I want to break out into the organic market and I want to help promote organic foods or products by coming up with my own product? What's the best way for me to not only figure out what product that's going to be and how to get it into the market?
Well, the first thing is to look at your own lifestyle and look at the various things that you use and you get benefit from. They might be redundant in the marketplace, but there might be something in your own lifestyle that might be worth investigating. Oh, I like this, but they don't really have something like that.
Yeah.
And I could create that. I could go to a food scientist, spend some money, create this product, maybe get some investment. And, that's where you would hire somebody like me to do a lot of the footwork for you, regulatory, get things figured out, price points.
Got it.
What part of the market do you want to tackle first? Like up here in Canada, the biggest chain, to get into the biggest chain, it costs $20,000 per SKU.
Wow.
Listing fee. So
but you're selling $250,000 in a product.
Well, they'll tell you you're going to get into 500 stores. A year goes by, you're in 250 stores. There's no exact science to how things get distributed and sent out, and especially post-COVID and
things are different nowadays.
There's a lot of issues in the distribution channel. right?
But this is where your MT consulting comes in. It sounds like you have an expertise.
It does come in. I'm good at what I do, but there's still, you really have to know your way around the distribution channel. You have to really know your way around these chains. Some chains don't charge a fee, but they have a very high inside program. Like for example, there's a chain here that has an inside program. It's 18%. In the United States, Kroger's inside program is 8%.
Right.
So I had suppliers who said, I'm not going to go with 18% when the biggest chain in America is charging me 8%.
8%.
Yeah, they can go, go stick it where the sun doesn't shine.
and we'll leave it at that. And definitely reach out to Michael Theodor at mtconsulting.ca if you're interested in breaking into the organic market. I know I'm interested, and you've got me more interested. So thank you, Michael.
Thank you, Jason. Really appreciate it. Nice spending time with you.
No problem. And as always, we'll see you guys in the next episode.